Okay, so I finished the Chestnut Springs series last week, which means we are at the final book review, which this is Hopeless by Elsie Silver. I enjoyed this one so much. I ate it up. It has some of my new favorite trope. Well, some of my age gap has been my favorite trope for a while. This one has a 13-year age gap. You also have grumpy older man, and I that is a trope that I'm learning that I'm enjoying so much. I love a grumpy older man. So you have this. You have like grumpy-ish meets sunshine. So basically, this is Bo Eaton. Now, Bo Eaton is one of the Eaton brothers, obviously, and he finally got a story. And I think his story is so perfect. Like I give this one 5 stars. Between this one and Heartless, like they alternate as like my favorites just because they have like the grumpy older man trope. So that's why they're kind of like both. They're both my favorites in this series. They're kind of equal, if I'm being honest with you. It's hard to like choose which one is number one and which one is like number two because they're just like both equal and fantastic. And I think this one has a lot of great emotional depth. Now he wasn't always grumpy, but he became grumpy after he went missing in because he was working for the Canadian military. He actually went missing in the third book in this series in Powerless. And then they found him after he'd been missing for 2 weeks, and he had like a bunch of burns, and we actually learned that he got burns on his feet and he had to have like grafts done for like the soles of his feet. And so he's just dealing with that pain, dealing with like the rubbing of his shoes and stuff like that. And just like he's come back from the army with military with PTSD, and it's just like made him really grumpy. And then we also have Bailey. I don't remember her last name right now. But basically, her family is not well respected in the small town. Basically, her father, I think, has been to jail and has committed crimes, and her brothers have all committed crimes. Basically, she is working multiple jobs in an attempt to hopefully leave the town, and one of the jobs is being a bartender at the local bar, the Rail Spur. Basically, Bo Eden comes in one day to the Rail Spur. There's like a whole thing that happens where he like gets into it almost like a bar fight with one of her regular patrons. And then she like pulled him out back and is like, you can't do that, and he was kind of like defending her. And he sort of like notices her, and he has nothing against Bailey at all. Like he knows that she's not well respected in the town because of her last name, and he just like doesn't treat her the way that everybody else does. Like he treats her with respect and realizes that she's just different from her brothers, and like she hasn't committed any crimes like her brothers. So basically, she loses, I think, one of like the multiple jobs she had in an effort to save money to hopefully leave the town. And so, basically, Bo Eaton keeps coming back to the bar at like multiple nights that she's working because he realizes that she is often closing alone for many hours. So he just like stays with her. Sometimes he like helps her close by like wiping down tables and stuff. And then he sort of propositions her because he realizes like, oh, she's looking for another job, and she's like has said that like, oh, because of her last name, people just like there'll be job postings that are just posted the day before. She'll go in person and try to apply, and they're like, sorry, we filled it. And she's like, seriously, maybe you should take down your online post then. So he was like kind of like, oh well, maybe with my last name, the Eaton last name, you'll be more respected and you'll be able to like get a second job to be able to leave town. But then he suggests that like, why don't, it's like fake dating adjacent. He was like, why don't we get fake engaged, and then it could get my family off my back about finding somebody and about like kind of moving on and not just being such like a recluse in life and not being just being so grumpy. And then maybe you would have a better shot at getting like a job. And so they are like fake, it's like fake dating but like fake engaged, which like I've read fake dating before. I've never read Fake Engage, and I think that that was really enjoyable. And eventually she sort of moved in with him because she's living in her trailer, and there's like a intense like heat wave one week, and the AC doesn't work in her trailer, so she ends up like staying in his house after he's like, please stay, like I don't want you out and they're like dying of heat in your trailer. And then she just like doesn't really go back to her trailer until we have a potential third act breakup. There isn't really a third act breakup, but it's kind of a potential one. And then it definitely is a slow burn where they slowly fall in love. But I would say, I think he falls first. I think they both kind of fall similar, but I think definitely he falls first. But he's the one who's like very hesitant just because of like the whole like age gap thing, and just because it's had like a definite end date, and because she wants to leave town and like he doesn't. But I enjoyed it so much. Like when I was done reading the book, I did like a little dance where I was like waving the book over my head, listening to like bopping music. I was like, yes, this was so good. I ate it up. That also leads me to ask if you have recommendations for like grumpy older man like age gap books. Leave those in the comments down below. I will look them up. Also, if they're like cowboy such cowboy adjacent like this one, leave those in the comments down below because I will look into them. But yeah, I enjoyed this book so much. Like I said, it alternates with Heartless as like my favorite in the series. They're both kind of like fairly equal. So yeah, enjoyed it so much. So that is all for this video. If you enjoyed it, let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget you can follow me on Instagram and Threads by going to @romanceblvd, and on TikTok by going to @romance boulevard, all spelled out. Until the next one, bye.